Welcome to the Cougar Report. I'm Cliff Sarlo.
And I'm Jason Mann.
And I never learned how to read.
This past Saturday was the commencement ceremony for spring graduates. Finally, the graduates got to celebrate the ceremony, signifying their first steps into the real world. 6 months after they took their first steps into the real world.
The live ceremony transitioned into a live stream ceremony about halfway through when it began to rain. Apparently, an ongoing pandemic can't stop the live ceremony, but a light drizzle can.
The South Carolina Aquarium has been hosting the Holland Lifelong Learning Program, a series of seminars dedicated to different animals and parts of the ecosystem. They've recently announced that the next event in the series will be focused on bats in the Carolinas. In response to this, we here at the Cougar Report are begging the aquarium to please read the room.
Many buildings on the College of Charleston campus have been left vacant for months due to the pandemic. CofC is reportedly now scrambling to try and find uses for them because if they don't, their locations will be taken over by Spirit Halloween stores.
The college has been sending out daily COVID wellness surveys over text and email. Says one student, "Those messages are the most human contact I've had in months."
Can you feel the collective sense of dread around campus? Have you seen the looks of desperation and exhaustion on the faces of the students? That's right, it's midterms week. Normally, this time of the semester, the Addlestone Library would be packed with students trying to cram for their exams. But due to social distancing guidelines, students studying in the library will be greeted with nothing more than soul-sucking emptiness.
One student reported that studying in the desolate library is a double-edged sword. On one hand, there's much less people to watch you have a mental breakdown. On the other, your sobs echo much, much louder. Speaking of midterms, last week we featured a friend of the show, Midterms Mike, who showcased to us the recipe for his special drink. Here to speak to the efficacy of this horrid concoction is Leroy, a freshman who, against his better judgment, actually tried it.
Thanks for having me.
So, Leroy, I hear that you actually made some of Mike's special drink to help you get through midterms.
Yes, and knew the recipe exactly. I made 3 pots of the whole stuff.
You made 3 pots of it. 3 pots? That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, well, I didn't actually drink all 3 pots. I only drank 2. The coffee pot corroded beyond usability.
I'm, sorry to hear that. So, Leroy, can you... Leroy? So, Leroy, can you attest to the efficacy of this foul beverage?
Yes, of course. Well, it worked like a charm. Helped me all throughout midterm week. There wasn't a single exam that I wasn't prepared for because there was so much time to study and prepare. So much time. On account for not sleeping an entire week.
You didn't sleep at all for a whole week. That sounds incredibly unhealthy. Have there been any side effects?
Side effects? No. Well, some.
Like what?
Well, one of 2 things has happened to me. I've either lost the ability to see colors or I've gained the ability to see new colors. This is just a really hard time for my brain to process.
You should probably see a doctor.
Doctor! Yes! Definitely. Most certainly.
Well, it at least must feel good to have gotten through midterms, right?
Oh, yes. Well, I'm not technically done with midterms yet. I've got a paper due at midnight. But I'm working on it. All up here. How do you spell expeditiously?
Thank you, Leroy. Yeah, can we call an ambulance?
In North Charleston, a squirrel named Chris reportedly predicted the outcome of the presidential election, giving Donald Trump another 4 years in office. We didn't want to cover this story on our comedy news show because we deemed it too silly. What we did want to report on is the fact that 8 real news outlets did not.
This has been the Cougar Report. I'm Jason Mail.
I'm Cliff Sarlo.
And I'm a plant.